afternoon, students. Please confirm. Am I audible? Thank you. All right. So before I start, let me just revise. All of you are comfortable with the yesterday's charge concept. Practically, also we tried to learn that how charge getting registered with ROC. What kind of forms we are just looking at. What is the concept of 300 days? What is the concept of 60 days? Where the amendment taken place? I think all of you are clear with that, right? Hello? Okay, then. Let's go to the next question. Okay, I think we did that till section 80. वो notice वाला हो गया था? Notice in the sense it is deemed to have knowledge what are charges registered by the company. So anyone who is dealing with the company is always deemed to have the knowledge. So later on, if you're saying that okay, I was not aware about it, that will not be entertained. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead with the new topic and new section as well. Just a second. Let me open it. All right. So guys, till section 80 we people completed. Now next question is the register. Register. Register section 81. Now we are starting. All right. Before I begin, just confirm that am I audible properly? Am I audible properly? Okay. So section 81, register of charges to be kept by registrar. Now, what do you mean by register? If you look at in this entire provision, there are two kinds of registers. There are two kinds of registers. Register number one kept by company itself, and register number two kept by ROC. That means the registrar. So first is by kept by company, and another here it is kept by registrar. Now, as far as exam is concerned, what kind of questions they may ask in exam? If you're expecting the questions, what kind of questions they may ask in exam? So they can ask you that what can be the contents of the register maintained by either company or registrar. So mainly you need to provide over here the different contents, how it looked like, what details you will add in that. Got it. That you may have to provide. Contents, right? What can be the different contents here? So contents, you tell me if I talk about any register, even if this question you people have not prepared. It is common sense, it is basic sense that what kind of contents one register should contain. So it should contain the name of a company, it should contain the name of charge holders, it should contain the nature of assets, it should contain the date of creation of the charge, it should contain whether the charge is opened or closed. What do you mean by open charge? Open charge means the loan is not satisfied yet. That is called the open charge. And the closed charge means, what do you mean by closed charge? It is settled. Nothing is pending now. Nothing is pending now. That is called a closed charge, right? Okay. So this kind of the question very easy. Don't get that much panic even if you have not read it. If you just simply apply your brain little bit, you can definitely get to know that what exactly this provision is trying to say here. So look at over here, this section number 81, what it is trying to say. Look at section 81 and section 85. Are you able to see this over here? Section 81 is talking about register of charges to be kept by registrar, and 85 is talking about company's register of charges. So basically these two are very easy questions. Let's look at what are the contents under section 81. So just the two paragraphs are there. So it is the power given to the registrar that it shall keep a register in respect of every company. Particulars of the charges registered under this chapter in such a form, in such a manner as may be prescribed. So the provision is very easy. It says that registrar will keep the register, but that register will contain the particulars as per the rules as may be prescribed. So if you click on this point, so it is written that the particulars of the charges maintained on Ministry of Corporate Affairs portal shall be deemed to be the register of charges. So have we ever seen this register maintained in the portal? So whenever you people click on that master data, do you know when we try to see the details of certain company, I think in my example, I tried to take Tata Motors, if I'm not wrong, isn't it? Hello? All right. Achha, L&T we did. Okay, we tried to see L&T, last minute to grow. So law says here under the rule 7 that the register what is maintained by this portal, that portal will be considered as the register of charges. And I think all of you know what kind of details we can see there, what kind of details we can expect there, isn't it? Hello? What kind of details we can look at? All right. Now, look, the second paragraph says it is the public and it is open for inspection by any person on payment of fees. But all of you know right now the fees is zero. Fees is zero. Did you observe that anyone just by simply going at that web portal easily can see what is the register, what are the charges? But if government in future wants to uh, impose certain fees, then government of India has the right to do that. So that is all about the paragraph number 1 of the register. So a register kept in pursuance with this section shall be opened for the inspection by any person on payment of the fees for each inspection. But right now there is no fees. Right now there is no fees. Are you getting my point? So guys, hope the section number 81 is clear to all of you. It is talking about the register kept by registrar. Before I go to section 81, 82 and 83 and even 84, I want all of you to focus on the 85 because that is companies register for charges. So basically, it is about companies register. So what these provisions are? So again, guys, it is talking about that what is the form and what is the particular you need to keep it. So again, guys, just a small paragraph that every company at its registered office shall maintain the register of charges as may be prescribed. And what is prescribed over here? So look at, guys, the register will be maintained in the form number CHG7. CHG7. Now, if you just click on the CHG7 form, this is how it looks like. Did you see? It is the format. Are you able to see this CHG7 form? All of you here? I think some, yeah, please just keep on responding so that I can see that you are here. So look at what are the details over here. Serial number, charge ID as given by ROC, date of creation, date of registration, short description of the property, period and amount secured, name and address of the charge holder, particulars of the terms and conditions, description of the instrument creating the charge, date of modification if there is any. Then this is the repetition, registration of modification, description of the instrument modifying, particulars of modification, and the third one is the satisfaction. So basically, if you look at this register, it contains the details of these three procedure. The point number one, creation and registration, modification and registration, and third one is the satisfaction and registration. I hope, guys, CHG7 is also clear. Further, if you look at over here, it is said that provided that a copy of the instrument creating the charge shall also be kept at registered office. So that's very common sense. Obviously, it should be kept at your registered office. The register of charges and the instrument of charges kept under this shall be open for inspection during the business hours by any member or the creditors without fees. And if any outside person is there, then he can inspect it by paying the fees. So what does it mean if you look at the register maintained by the company? What are the contents? So basically I can say that contents has these three types. Point number one, it is about the details about the creation, details about the modification, and the third one is satisfaction. Details about satisfaction. Now one more question what can be there at your exam is what about the inspection? What about the inspection? So for whose people, like for whom charge register is available free of charge? Who are the people from whom the money will not be charged? So creditors, actually, if you put it like this, inspection. So this inspection wala part we can categorize into two parts, part number one and part number two here. All right, part number one and part number two. As far as members and creditors are concerned, as far as the members and creditors are concerned, without fees during business hours, they can inspect it. Without fees during business hours, they can inspect it. And as far as any other person is concerned, then on payment of fees, they can inspect it. On payment of fees, they are allowed to inspect it. So this is the entire diagram of your section 85. That means if anyone wants to inspect the charge register, then what are the provisions? Just note it down, and that's all about the section 81 as well as 85. I hope you're clear in this. Okay, copy this, type the word done, and then we will go to the remaining section of the chart chapter. And once this is get done, we will go to the next point. Okay. Is it done? All right. So once the register part is done, then now we are going. Okay, okay. Before I go, I got one feedback. I just want to ask you. Look, while I present in Excel, I have two options. The first is the whiteboard, and second is this black screen. So where you are more comfortable? I'm sorry to ask you, but recently I saw that even the white one is also liked by some students. So what you like? Are you like, do you want me to present in that dark theme or that light theme? Look, in the light theme, the entire background will be, white and different colors. But as you are on screen, for your eyes, it will be a bit hectic, and that's why it was my intention to keep it black so that you can comfortably look at the on the screen and there is no much stress on your eyes. So there is a scientific reason for that. All right, good. After then, we are going for another very important section, and that is the section number 82. Company to report satisfaction of charge. Now, before I go, what do you mean by satisfaction of charge? Huh? What do you mean by satisfaction of charge? So next heading you should put over here right down, and that is the satisfaction of charge. Satisfaction of charge. What do you mean by here the term called satisfaction of charge? So you tell me, the moment when the loan is taken, it is totally fully paid along with interest. It is totally paid along with interest, and nothing is pending to be paid in that. So does it make any sense to keep the charge opened, or now this is the time to close it? That means we have to inform to the ROC that, look, brother, I had taken the loan, I paid it along with principal and interest. Now it doesn't make any sense to keep it open. So please now satisfy my charge. Or getting me satisfied means close the charge. Remove my name from the charge. Remove my name from the charge. So that is called the satisfaction of charge. All right. So write down over here. What do you mean by the term called satisfaction of charge? So here the term satisfaction of charge would mean closing the charge. It means closure of charge by informing ROC. By informing ROC. So you're informing the ROC that close it. Now, what are the important questions for your exam about the closure? So simple. Okay, so when you talk about the questions, so what kind of questions I'm expecting here? What kind of questions we can expect from this? Because everything what we are doing over here, that is from which angle? whatever we are doing here, that is from which angle? कौन से angle से कर रहे हो? Examination point of view. So possible questions from this particular topic. So question number 1 over here, that what is the process? Okay, write it over here. What is the procedure? What is the procedure to satisfy? Next question there can be, what is the form number? Do we need to go with any form? Just like when for the registration and the modification, when we use the form. So obviously, even here, we are definitely going for certain forms, isn't it? Even for this, we are going for certain form. So, second question over here is, what is the form name here? And third, what is important is time period. Time period. Within what time you should do it? You should do it. And the fourth question over here is, what if there is delay? What if there is delay? So here, these many questions we are going to answer. These many questions we have to answer while we are doing this particular point. All right. So are you ready to solve this point? Huh? So all these questions will be answered once you have the knowledge of, section 82 here. Section 82. So let's see, guys, how 82 is talking about. So simply, if you look at this, is the provision about section 82. I hope you can simply see that. So look what all these green color marks are there. Green color represents insertion. Insertions means it is the amendment. Earlier the amendment was not there. Brown color is the substitution. Substitution means old provision got removed, in place of that new got inserted. And blue color represents the exceptions, modification. So in this, whatever, what I can say, this paragraphs are there, the color of the font depends. Color of the fonts are not for the decoration. Each and every color has one meaning. So green color says insertion, brown color replacement or the substitution, and blue color is the modification or the exceptions. All right. Now, so a company shall give the intimation to registrar within what time? 30 days. कितने दिन में करेगा भाई? Come on. Within 30 days, company will intimate to RC. Company will intimate to ROC. All right. So time period is 30 days. After then, oh, I'm sorry. In what form? So again, guys, the forms are not mentioned in the provisions. Forms are always mentioned in what? Forms are always mentioned in the rules, and this is the rule. Look, you can see it is written that by the company's registration of charges amendment rules 2018. So it is the CHG 4. So company or the charge holder shall within a period of CHG 4 will be issued. CHG 4, it is the name of form which will be filled up, which will be filled up. I think all of you can see this CHG 4, right? So look at, guys, CHG 4, it is for the satisfaction of charge, and keep noting everything. Which form is getting used for what purposes? All right. Where is the PDF? This one. Okay. Are you able to see this entire form? I hope so. So again, guys, look, there are certain common data we have to keep, like what is the CIN number, pre-fill button, and again the same things like who is filing this company or charge holder, and this what is very important. This form is belong to what category? It is written that is it beyond 30 days but within 300 days from the date of satisfaction? Yes or no? Yes or no? Why it is written that beyond 30 days but within 300 days? Why it is mentioned like this? Beyond 30 days but within 300 days from the date of satisfaction. Why it is written like this? So again, guys, if you look at this provision, it is mentioned that basically it should be done within 30 days. But if it is not done, then ROC may allow such intimation on payment of additional fees within a period of 300 days of such payment of additional fees from the date of satisfaction of the charge. So again, guys, 30 and 300 days wala provision is applicable in section 82. But here I want to give you one note. What kind of note it is? Write down over here. Note for the satisfaction of charge. In case satisfaction is not registered, then how many more days you people have? Come on, how many more days you people have? Then it can be registered within 300 days from the date of satisfaction on the payment of additional fees. Right? That's what we have learned. But however, it is to be noted that the provision of 60 days as mentioned on, do you know what is the concept of 60 days as mentioned under section 77 does not apply in section 82. So look, many students are making the mistake. Why this note is important? Many students are making the mistake. They are believing that do you remember section 77, all those charges which are created after the amendment of 2019, then the period is not now 300. Period is not 300. Now the period is 60 days. So they are also understanding that as it is applicable for registration, as it is applicable for modification, so that is why it is same applicable for satisfaction, but that is wrong. Look, 60 days wala provision is not applicable to satisfaction, that is to section 82. So only within 300 days wala point is applicable. 60 days wala amendment is not applicable here. Alright, that's why this note becomes important to remember. I hope it is clear to all of you. Hello? I hope it is clear to all of you. Okay, why it is there? Obviously, satisfaction means it is good for both the parties, so they should try to do. Even if it is taking a long time, they should try to do that. Okay. Now, let's come to this paragraph. Many students have doubt on this particular paragraph, that is this second paragraph. But if you look at this paragraph, we have already done while doing the section 79. Sorry, section 78. Okay, let me remind you what did we do in the previous question, in the previous session. All of you people remember this particular point. Jayesh goes to father of Milan and asking for 25,000. But obviously, a smart person will not directly give the money. Before giving the money, obviously father will inquire about it. So the same thing over here is. So you tell me who can go for satisfaction of charge? So fundamentally, if you look at the form, देखो इस form को देखो, it can be applied by either company or it can be applied by charge holder. Now, satisfaction of charge, it is in the benefit of whom? Can I say it is more beneficial to the company? Because now, if anyone look at the online, they can easily find that now company is not under charge anymore because the charge is closed. So closure of the charge, it is more beneficial to which party? Answer the question. Closure of charge, it is more beneficial to which party? कौन सी पार्टी को ये ज्यादा beneficial होगा? So answer would be company. So if company goes or company applies to the ROC, isn't it suspicious for the ROC? Because every company is always try to close it. So isn't it a doubtful situation? Come on. Huh? Isn't it a doubtful situation? So will direct ROC directly register this or it will make the inquiry? Come on. Will ROC directly register this or it will make the inquiry? Obviously it is going for what? Inquiry. It will make the inquiry and then the things will happen. Got it? It will make the inquiry. So how the inquiry will be made? How the inquiry will be made? So answer is quite simple. In the previous example, if you remember, ROC issued the notice for 14 days. Issued the notice of 14 days stating that whether, yeah, company should register the creation or not to the company. Same way here, in this way, the moment when company is the applicant over here, if company is the applicant, ROC will not directly register the charge. According to this paragraph, what this paragraph is trying to say here, the same thing is written. Look, that the registrar shall on the receipt of intimation cause a notice to be sent to the holder of the charge, calling upon him to show cause within such time not exceeding 14 days as specified in such a notice as to why the payment or satisfaction in full should not be recorded as intimated to the registrar, and if no cause is shown by which registrar shall order that a memorandum of satisfaction shall be entered in the register of charge kept by him under and shall inform the company that he has done so. Now, this paragraph is very important. Notice referred in this subsection shall not be required in case the intimation to the registrar in this regard is signed by the charge holder. Charge holder. So if charge holder has given his consent by signing this, and charge holder himself is sending this form to the ROC, then this notice is not required. So ultimately, if you read these two paragraphs, what is the conclusion? If the satisfaction of the charge, that means the CHG4, this form, if this form is filed by the company, then this notice will be given to the charge holder. Then do you have any objection if I satisfy the charge? Hey guys, I hope the concept is clear. Come on. I hope the concept is clear under section 82. Okay. All right. Now let's go to the, okay, 83. Students, section 83 is also very important, and that is also the part of our examination question. What is section 83 is talking about? So if you look at here, it is saying that 83 talks about power of registrar to make entries of a satisfaction and release in absence of intimation from the company. So what this definition is trying to say, basically satisfaction will apply only in the case when form number CHG4 is filed by either of the parties, isn't it? Hello? Hello? When form number CHG4 is filed by either of the parties, whether it is filed by, as you can look at here, the company or the charge holder, right? It can be filed by any one of the parties. It can be filed by any one of the parties. What if ROC waited for, let's say, 25 years, but nobody replied? Now, not company, not charge holder, and ROC has the strong evidences that charge is satisfied. So, is it possible for the ROC that even without any intimation from either of the companies, can ROC go for satisfaction of charge? Can ROC go for satisfaction of charge? So basically, the question is, even if even if without intimation, can ROC satisfy the charge? And guys, this question was already there in one of the RTPs. And all those questions which were there in the RTPs, don't take them lightly. Why? Because ROC questions are some any point of time. It can become the question of your exam because ROC sorry, RTP questions RTP questions are the question bank of ICI. And that is why it is my request to all the students that all the students who are preparing for exam, they should not leave any question mentioned in RTP or previous attempt questions. उनको कुछ भी छोड़ना नहीं है, सब कुछ करके जाना है for the exam. For the exam, they should not leave anything. They should consider everything. Okay. So answer to this question is it possible or not? Is it possible or not? So answer to this question is absolutely yes. This is possible. But what are the conditions? What are the conditions? Can ROC directly go? Answer is no. Look, it is possible, but it cannot go the way it wants. Don't you think that before satisfying the charge, it should give notice to both the parties? That since long we have not heard you, our register of charges is keeping your name. We are not getting anyone's response. Okay. So don't you think what notice must have to be given to the both the parties asking that brother, do you have any objection? Either of the parties have any objection if I satisfy the charge. So notice will be given, and if no response is taken back from these people, then has the right to ROC has the right to satisfy the charge. But this power is provided under Section 83 of the Companies Act 2013. Alright, guys, look, a lot of students requested me, sir, what is the Bear Act and how can we do? Look, the material what I'm sharing, it doesn't contain the provisions in the section wise. But this book, the online platform, what I'm using here, have you observed students that here everything is the section wise? That is in the most structured way. So are you people comfortable with this? So that you can read exactly what is written in the law and how it can be interpreted. No doubt, I will share the material as well. Share the material as well. Okay, material में मिलेगा आपको. Okay, guys. So read section 83. What it says. So power of registrar to make entries of satisfaction and release in absence of intimation from the company. So registrar may, on the evidence being given to his satisfaction. So this is very important. This word evidence being given to his satisfaction. So without evidences, ROC cannot go under section 83. That is, without evidences, it cannot go. It should have the concrete evidence. And ROC, if satisfied that the debt for which the charge was given has been paid or satisfied, that the part of the property or undertaking charge has been released from the charge or has ceased to form part of the company's property. You tell me, guys, the property upon which the charge was created, what if that property is destroyed, that property is sold? Now, does it make any sense to have the charge in the property? Come on. The property on which the charge was created, it is destroyed. So does it make to keep the charge on that? No. So this is the proper time to satisfy this. So enter in the register of the charge a memorandum of satisfaction in whole or in part. That means it will register the satisfaction on the fact that the part of the property or undertaking has been released from the charge or has ceased to form part of the company's property or possession or undertaking, as the case may be. So guys, this paragraph is trying to say that when actually it is the repetition of the above part, that the moment when the ROC has this belief and the evidence that whether the charge is paid or the property is released with, then it will satisfy the charge in its register. This paragraph is very important. The registrar shall inform the affected parties within 30 days of making the entry in the register of charges. So this is very important. Look, one thing I did not tell you about the 100 marks paper. What is the pattern of exam? Do you know what is the pattern of exam? Pattern of exam? Let me show you how the pattern of exams looks like. I want to show you the previous attempt question paper. Look at this is icai.org here, and you can take it here, the foundation, then corporate and other loans. This is the study material, and here, sorry, not the study material. I think we should go with the what I can see, the question papers. Yes, this is the question papers, and this is the December 21, just like 1 month back. The previous batch they gave the exam. So could you see over here? This paper is for how many marks? Maximum marks? कितने हैं? Now many of you have these doubts on how can you 70? How can it be 70? Because you told the paper is for the 100. Where are the other 30? So if you look at the instruction, it is written. Look at this. Part 1 comprises with the MCQs. So guys, can you tell me how many marks are there for the MCQs? Hey, hey. Isn't it a chocolate for all of you? Isn't it? Hello? Isn't it a chocolate for you? 30 marks MCQ without negative marking. Without negative marking. So that's what I'm telling you. Without negative marking. All right. So 30 marks are MCQs, but trust me, 30 marks are MCQ. You people can complete just within first 15 minutes. Just take the OMR sheet and just give it back to the your examiner. But remaining 70 marks, for the 70 marks, can you imagine how many pages they have allotted? 12 pages for remaining 70 marks. So trust me, here, can you imagine? For this much huge story, only 2 marks. This much huge story, only 2 marks. This much huge story, only 2 marks. This much huge story, 2 marks, only 3 marks. Okay, there are some questions maximum for the 6 marks, 4, 3. So what they have done is ICI knows very much that MCQ solution doesn't take much time. So those 30 marks you can easily get. And that is why remaining 70 marks they made very lengthy. And that is not happening only in this the last attempt. Actually, it is happening in almost every kind of previous attempt question paper. Now, why I'm telling all these things? Because all these small points what are written over here, within what time, all that, these are the points where you need to pay more attention, because this can be the part of your MCQ. So while you're reading the provision, just do not read the logic. Also, you try to remember the small points MCQs. The way you were used to do, the way you were used to do in your schooling exams, like first PUC or the second PUC. All right, I hope you're clear with this, all of you. ठीक है? So I hope guys the section number 83 is clear to all of you. If you want to take the snapshot of this, you are allowed to do this. You can do that. Okay, fine. So guys, 83 is done. Now we are going for the another very important section, and that is the 84. Section number 84. Come to section number 84. What it says? It says that intimation of appointment of receiver or the manager. What this is trying to say? Understand what is this section 84 and what is this provision is talking about all. Okay, let me tell you that if I speak about one example, suppose there is a company and this company actually has taken the loan from this company has taken the loan from HDFC Bank Limited, suppose HDFC Bank Limited by mortgaging the immovable properties. Immovable properties. So land, building, then you can take there this plant and machinery. A lot of immovable assets had been mortgaged and took the loan of let's say 100 crores. Huge amount, 100 crores. Now, if company does not pay this amount on time, can HDFC Bank Limited directly acquire the immovable assets and can start it selling? It waited for 1 year, but company did not respond. So can company directly attack, can send gundas and acquire the property and auction this even after giving the notice? Notice was given to the company that look brother, if you don't pay my money, we are going to take over your land. We are going to take over your building. So bank waited even after giving the notice for the 1 year, but company did not pay, and that's why it sent some 25 gundas and undertaking the land, building, plant and machinery, factory, everything. My question is, even if your money is due, I can understand, but is it the proper way sending gundas and acquiring the property? Is it the legal way to go with that? Hello? Come on, no, not at all. What is the real legal way to acquire this property? So legal way, you have to apply to the court. Go to the court, first of all. Go to the court. After going to the court, explain that this is the situation. Court will look into the entire matter, and when court is satisfied, court will allow the bank to appoint one legal person known as receiver. Known as receiver. And will allow the bank that you can go there and you can try to recover the assets. So understand, even if the amount is due, bank officers cannot directly go and take it until the court's permission is taken. So everything is happening legally by intimating to the court. Now what section 84 is trying to say, whenever such a receiver is appointed, such manager is appointed by the charge holder, ROC must have to be intimated. ROC must have to be intimated. Now procedure is clear. What if the company surrenders the property without going to the court? But still, some officer must have to be appointed by the bank, and it is always advisable that you at least take once the court's permission, and the court will easily give that, so that later on the company should not have any chance for rebut turning around. So it is advisable to go to the court first and then to take it. Got it? So, by the way, are you clear with the concept of Section 84? What was the main reason for creation of the Section 84? Come on, you can type the word yes or no. Okay. So read it. If any person obtains an order, order means which order? Which order? Who gives the order? Answer the question. Here, the term order is mentioned, but who gives the order? Obviously, court. For the appointment of a receiver or a person to manage the property subject to a charge of a company, or if any person appoints as receiver or person under any power contained in any instrument of contract, he shall, within a period of 30 days from such date of appointment or passing the order, give such notice of such appointment to the company as well as to the registrar, along with a copy of the order or the instrument. And the registrar shall, on the payment of the prescribed fees, register such particulars to the receiver person in the instrument. So you have to give the notice. Now, how the notice will be given? For that, the form number CHG6 is prescribed by the law. Now, I'm not opening the form now. If you want to look at the form, you can just directly go. But form number CHG6, this form is actually made available for intimation of appointment of receiver or the manager. Okay, you can take the snapshot of this if you want to. Come on, do it fast. All right. Fine. So this is the section 84. 85 already we have done with. Now, remaining two sections are there. First is punishment for the contravention. Look, punishment wala provision I will not tell you. I just want to give you the time that please read it. What are the punishment? So if any company is in the default of complying with any of the provisions of this chapter, the company shall be liable to a penalty of 5 lakh rupees, and every officer of the company who is in default shall be liable to a penalty of 50,000 rupees each. You tell me one question, that here the penalty is for only officers or it is for both company as well as officers? Come on, try to. It is for the both. Company will be punished for the 5 lakhs. What does it mean? Company will be punished for the 5 lakhs. Can I say when I say that company will be punished for the 5 lakhs, bank balance of the company will be affected? Huh? Come on. Can I say the bank balance of the company will be affected? Okay. If any person willfully furnishes any false or incorrect information or knowingly suppresses any material information required to be registered in accordance with the provisions of section 77, he shall be liable for action under section 447. Oh, guys, what is the 447? Come on, I explained that in the AK-46. No, it is AK-47. Yes. So it is the punishment for what? Fraud. Well done, Jesh. 10 years jail. So understand, do not take this chapter lightly. Charge is very important chapter. Okay. After that, you come down to the last provision, rectification by central government in the register of charges. You tell me, even if the charge register is maintained, but is there any possibility that ROC may put the wrong information? Possible or not? Sometimes by mistake, the form is mistakenly filed, some data are wrongly filed. So even after the consistent notices, if the ROC is not rectifying the register, then at the end, who has the right to order the ROC to rectify? The central government has the right to order the ROC to rectify the register on the basis of any application and on the basis of any mistake. So look at, guys, what is the provision given over here. This is the provision. Section 87. If you look at the section 87, it is totally replaced. This is the old content. These are the old content, and now these are the new content. So we have to read only this much. What is written over here? The central government, on being satisfied that the omission to give intimation to registrar of the payment of the satisfaction of charge within the time required under this chapter, the omission or the misstatement of any particulars in any filing previously made to the ROC with respect to any such charge or modification with respect to any memorandum of satisfaction or other entry made whatever, accidental or due to inadvertence or some other sufficient cause. In short, guys, if you read this paragraph, it simply says that if there are any omission, if there are any misstatement, any false information, accidental misstatement, if any mistake is done, central government has the right to intimate to ROC to rectify its register. So 87, I don't expect much questions for your exam, but it is a good provision. So I hope, my dear students, all of you are clear with all these points. Come on. I hope you are clear with all these sections. Again, now look at this and tell me, are you people comfortable with now the chart chapter? Hello? I think yesterday I shared the link of this ebook, right, to all of you. Did I? मुझे लगता है कि मैंने इसको शेयर किया था आप लोगों को. So बच्चा लोग, this is the end of our charge chapter. Hope you liked it, hope you enjoyed it, and something practically we also try to learn. All right. Now many students are asking that why, sir, you are not sharing the material. Look, the material I want to restructure because the old material contains a lot of amendments, as well as I want to change the style. In my old material, I did not include certain questions, but this time what is my plan is I want to include the questions as well. Questions means what? Suppose there is a topic, below the topic I want to put the question, so that you read the topic, at the same time you will be able to find the question as well. And I want to take the questions from all the MTPs, RTPs and everything. So paragraph questions, topic questions. So by reading just the material, you will be able to just not able to understand the content, but at the same time you will be able to prepare for exam as well. I hope you're clear. Hello. I hope you're clear. This is how I want to plan. Okay. So that's all about the chart chapter. So will you take a small break, or should I continue with that without break and directly I should start the new chapter? Come on. It is up to you. Okay, guys, take a small break and then I will go with the new chapter. Thank you. All right, so welcome back. Please confirm, am I audible? And show your presence. Then we are going to start the new chapter. We are going to start the new chapter. Okay, so the new chapter over here is write down dividend. New chapter here is dividend. Dividend. All right. Dividend. What do you mean by dividend, first of all? Dividend, again, guys, one of the very famous chapter. Look, all of you know that before CA intermediate, there was IPCC. And do you know what was the weightage of company law in the IPCC? It was not 60 marks, it was only 30 marks. But ICI thought that a chartered accountant student should have a good knowledge about a company because they are going to practice a lot in the company. And that's why they inserted, they just added some more chapters from CA final to CA inter and dividend accounts and audit. These three chapters earlier was in the CA final. Now they are shifted to CA inter. And weightage of this syllabus is now for the 60 marks. Complete set is 60 marks, including MCQs. All right, dividend. What do you mean by the term called the dividend? Answer the question. What do you mean by the term called dividend? Dividend का मतलब क्या होता है? Tell me. What do you mean by dividend? Okay, is it a one word or it is the combination of more than one words? What do you think? Is it the one word or it is the combination of more than one word? Okay, it is more than one word. What are those two words? Combining which we got this new concept called dividend. Answer it. Okay, let me tell you guys. It is made of more than two words. The first is divide and second is end. So when you are dividing the end, it becomes dividend. It becomes dividend. Okay. Dividing the end will make this as dividend. Divide the end. But when I talk about the end, it is what? Are we talking about the assets or we are talking about the profit? So you all know that first of all there's a sales minus purchase, and some other stock. What I can say, stock adjustment that will give you the stock, or that will give you the gross profit. That will give you the gross profit. And once you the gross profit, this is not the end. Again, you deduct a lot of expenses from this. So GP minus lot of expenses, that will give you what? That will give you what? The net profit before appropriation. And after that, net profit minus certain adjustment, you know, right? Net profit minus certain adjustments. Adjustment in the sense like transferring to provisions, transferring to, the lot of reserves. So certain provisions when you make. So net profit minus appropriations. Then you have the net profit. Net profit, and this net profit is known as end. This net profit here, it is known as end. And when we distribute this end, when we distribute this end among the owners, obviously in the case of company they are shareholders, then that automatically becomes dividend. So this is the basic philosophy of the dividend. I hope you can understand this. Hello? This is the basic philosophy of dividend. Divide the end. Divide the end. Divide the end. All right. Now, what kind of questions we are going to face with this? Like, before I start this chapter of dividend, why it is important and what kind of chapters we are going to face in this, or sorry, questions particularly. So let me tell you, question number one here is, write down whether dividend is compulsory to be issued. Uh, just a second. Just a second. I hope fine. Now, what are the possible questions we are going to face in this particular chapter? So write down, guys, the possible questions. Possible questions. Possible questions for your exam. First question over here is whether dividend is compulsory. Is dividend compulsory? Second, write down who has the right to receive dividend. Third question, write down procedure to issue dividend. All right. Procedure to issue the dividend. Can you write down? Is it possible to withdraw the dividend after declaration? So once it is declared, is it possible to withdraw that? Once it is declared, is it possible to withdraw that? All right. Then write down provisions regarding unclaimed dividend. Hey, is it possible that company wants to give the dividend, but there are no any claimer? Company issued the dividend, company waited for 3 years, 5 years, but nobody came to claim it. Is this situation possible in the while distributing the dividend or not? Huh? Such kind of situations are possible or not? Yes. So if there are such unclaimed dividend, how to deal with that? That is also the question. Okay. Next point you write down. Dividend in case of transfer of shares. Okay, second is mode of dividend. What do you mean by mode of dividend? That means can dividend be paid in kinds? In kinds, you understand, right? That means instead of cash, if I want to give, let's say, debentures, if I want to give the toys, if I want to give some other thing in place of dividends? Is it allowed to make it or not? Eighth question is, it's asking that can dividend be settled against the dues? What do you mean by this? Can dividend be settled against the dues? Means suppose there is a debtor of the company who is liable to pay certain amount to the company, and he also deserves to get the dividend. Can dividend amount be settled? Can dividend amount be settled against those debtor dues or not? Can dividend amount be settled against those dues or not? That we have to learn. Write down what what is the penalty and punishment in case default is made in the payment of dividend. Okay. And one more question I want to put it over here. That is the 10th question, and I will tell you how it is related with the dividend chapter. That is the um, creation and management of education, sorry, investors, investors, education and protection fund. Creation and management of investors, education and protection fund. Okay. So guys, write down these all of the possible questions what you're going to face in your exam. And in your exam, there can be any questions. Apart from that, what are the cases and what are the others questions we are going to face? I will start when I will start the chapter. This question. Note it down and type the word done once it's done. But why would someone not want to claim them? Actually, everyone wants to claim, but there can be some mistake. For example, what if a Mahima bank account which was provided is wrong? You have changed the address. Even you are not aware the dividend is declared, and by mistake the company has delivered the dividend check to some wrong address. So there can be a lot of reasons for unclaiming. It's not like a donation that intentionally you do not want to claim it. It's not like that. It's not like that. All right, guys. So these are the questions, and now write down the topic content, like what we are going to study in this entire dividend chapter. Okay. So dividend. Now, where is the dividend over here? You look at this page. Can you see here after management and administration, there is chapter number 8 called declaration and payment of dividend. Can you see this? Look at after registration of chart, there is management and administration, which is starting from section 88 till section 122. This is the chapter of management and administration. So many of you may be thinking, what is this? So this is the chapter of general meeting. Officially, general meeting is not the main title. The main title of the general meeting chapter is management and administration. Did you see? Registration of charge is till 87. Then general meeting chapter is starting from section 88. When you complete the general meeting chapter at 122, chapter section 123 to 127, you look at this. किधर गया? हाँ, 123 to 127, hardly 5 sections are there. These all the 5 sections contains the chapter of dividend. And when we complete this explanation and understanding of all these 5 chapters, we have 128 to 138 chapter of accounts. Then from 139 to 148, it is the chapter of auditing, and 149 it is CA final. So guys, in your IPCC, sorry, not IPCC, in your CA intermediate, how many total sections are there? Tell me. How many total sections are there? You have to learn till section 148. So total 148 sections are there in your syllabus. 148 sections are there in your syllabus. And we have to learn each and every paragraph in detail so that we can crack the questions easily along with a lot of other questions and the solution. All right. So just a second, let me. All right, write down guys what you're going to learn in this particular chapter. The first what you have here is write down the meaning of dividend. Meaning of dividend. Meaning of dividend. After then, next you write down. Okay, let me change the color of this. After then, write down types of dividends. Types of dividend. And basically there are two types of dividend. Write down. The first type what you have, it is the final dividend. And another one what you have, it is the interim dividend. Final dividend, interim dividend. Final dividend and interim dividend. Okay. After then, the next point what you need to write is section 123. Section 123. And section 123 talks about declaration of dividend. Declaration of dividend. Right. But under section 123, we have a lot of subparts. Now, what are the subparts? Write down the point number 1. Source of dividend. After then, transfer to reserve. Rather, you write down like requirement of transfer to reserve. And this point is very, very important. Declaration of dividend if company suffers the loss. That means out of accumulated profits. Out of accumulated profits. All right. After then, depositing of amount of dividend. And then write down the declaration of interim dividend. Declaration of interim dividend. After then, write down payment of dividend. Payment of dividend. Payment of dividend. Okay. So these all are section 123. Section 123. All these provisions. I hope it is done and written. After this, section 124. Section 124. Write down section 124 is about unpaid dividend account. Unpaid dividend account. So I think I told you that there can be such situation where company wants to pay, but shareholders doesn't claim that. Possible or not? Company pays, but shareholders don't claim it. Don't claim it. So that is section 124. After then, we have section 125. Section 125. Section 125 talking about section 125 talking about investor education and protection fund. Investors education and protection fund. It has certain subtopics to learn with. Right on. Under section 125, what you people are going to face or what you're going to learn. So first is the establishment of fund. After then you write down it is amount to be credited in the fund. So what are the amounts to be credited in this fund? After then, utilization of the fund, like for what purpose and for what reason it can be utilized. After then, administration and handling After then, accounts and audit of the fund. Accounts and audit of the fund. That is section 125. Last two provisions, write down. Section 126. Now, yeah. Section 126 talks about shares to be held in abeyance. Shares to be held in abeyance. And the last one, it is the section 127, that is the punishment for failure to distribute dividends. Punishment for failure to distribute dividends. Punishment for failure to distribute dividends. So this is the chapter of dividend. You copy this and type the word done. Once it is done, then we will start the new chapter, sorry, like discussion of the chapter of dividend. All right, guys. So I hope the point is done. So, how much time is left? 8 minutes. Okay, within 8 minutes, what I can do? Yeah, within 8 minutes, I can explain only this part, the types of dividend. Within 8 minutes, what I can explain is the types of dividend. All right. Final dividend and interim dividend. What do you mean by final dividend? So look, when I ask this question, many students may understand, sir, final dividend means the dividend what is issued at the end of the year. I know many students have this conception. So guys, dividend what is issued at 31st March year end, that is known as the final dividend, right? That's what you're thinking? That's what you're thinking? Huh? Final dividend is the dividend what is declared at the 31st March. No, it's not like that. Write down over here, meaning of final dividend. So the term final dividend means here, the term final dividend means here the dividend which is declared at annual general meeting. Write down dividend which is declared at annual general meeting. Dividend which is declared at, oh, is it struck? I'm sorry. Dividend which is declared at annual general meeting, that is called the final dividend. That is called the final dividend. All right. Dividend which is declared at AGM. So look, students, it has nothing to do with the 31st March. It has nothing to do with 31st March. इसको 31st March से कुछ लेना देना नहीं है. For example, if the annual general meeting is taking place as on 31st July, 31st July, then the final dividend date would be 31st July. It has nothing to do with the dates. It has to do with the AGM, annual general meeting. Then what is the definition of interim dividend? If I ask you, interim dividend means what? So first point over here is interim dividend. It is other than final dividend. Do you agree with that? Huh? Interim dividend is something what is other than final dividend. So final dividend definitely be there, but sometimes the company wants to impress the shareholders and they have the assumption that this year they're going to earn excessive profit and they want to make the shareholders happy. They want to make shareholders happy. So what they do is they do not wait for the AGM. Obviously, during the AGM, they're definitely going to pay the dividend, but along with that, they're also paying the dividend in between two AGMs. So write down, it is a dividend declared in between two AGMs. What is the full form of AGMs? Annual general meetings. Annual general meetings. So guys, in technically you can say that any dividend declared other than AGM is known as what? Any dividend declared for any dividend declared for other than AGM. It is known as what? Interim dividend. It is known as what? Interim dividend. Other than AGM. That is known as interim dividend. All right. So guys, okay, this is nothing much about your exam. Just one small question for 1 or 2 marks. They can ask an exam that the differentiate between the final dividend and the interim dividend. So this is about final interim. Now, section 123 is the main section for examination. So that we will start in the next lecture, next session. All right. So I hope I should shut the shop because if I know that 3 minutes are left, but if I start it right now, I will not be able to complete 123. So enjoy your 3 minutes and see you in the next class. All right. Good luck. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mema.